This is Maury of Yasharal. Abib, the replacement for the Father's action. Who would replace the Father's action? The Gentiles. In this case, the white man. Remember what Constantine said. Absolutely nothing from these Negroes, these Hebrews, none of their rights, none of their new moons, none of their Shabbats, none of their feast days. So they sought to create their own doctrines, their own theology, replacement theology, replace everything about us with them. So they created a word, Abib. Look at the I in the middle of the two B's. The I is the replacement for the name that is above all names. Yah. Look what it represents on the pictograph. An arm stretched forth. Now look at my transliteration. The first one, Ab, that means father. Yab means an arm stretched forth to the Ba, which is house. The father stretched forth his arm to the house. What house? The house of Yasharal. Is that what happened in the land of Egypt? Here's a variant transliteration. The first time I used the Ya as a vowel. We have three vowels, you know. A, Wa, and Ya. In the first transliteration, I used the Ya as a vowel. So you don't put another vowel between the Ba and the Ya. It would be Ab-Yab. But in the variant transliteration, I'm using the Ya as a consonant. So what would you have? Abba, Yab. This is one that you're familiar with. What does Abba mean? Father. Ya, an arm stretched forth. To who? The Ba, house. The house of Yasharal. So they replaced the father's action with the Abib. What do they say it means? Green ears and grain. Transliteration. Abib. Pronunciation. Abib. Part of speech. It's a masculine noun. Come on. Come on. Come on. A masculine noun like male, gender, father. So Abib is improper. Green ears and grain replaces who? The masculine noun, which is father. Go look it up, please. Root word etymology. From an unused root meaning to be tender. Where's the H number? Where's the root word? There's no root word for this thing that they created. Abib. Now, if you can't get through this, how are you going to come to the proper understanding? You must go line by line, precept by precept, here a little, there a little. Remember their purpose, to wipe out the Father and his action and replace it with green ears and grain? Let's continue. The KJV translates Strong's. Could we stop for a moment? You're reading a translation. Who translated it? The same people who said absolutely nothing from these brews. Nothing from these Negroes. None of their rights, none of their new moons, none of their Shabbats, none of their feast days. So they sought a replacement for the action of the Father. And they chose this word, Abib, then they gave you a separate definition of it. Remember this, every time the lie is present, the truth is also present. This is why you are commanded to study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. You have to divide the truth from the lie. How do you do that? You have to go line by line, precept by precept, here a little, there a little. You have to compare text to text. Then you have to go into the original text to see if what they're saying is present. The KJV translates Strong's H24 in the following manner. Abib 6 times, in the ear 1 time, green ears of corn 1 time. Hey, the father's action was replaced by the ear, by harvest? Yes. Outline of biblical usage. Fresh, young, barley, ears, barley. Where's corn? 2. Month. Every time you see month, you know it's Hadash. So you can't use a solar calendar. If you go to the New Testament, it's Man, moon. Can't use a solar calendar. The Hebrews, the Abaya, only followed the moon. They never followed a sun calendar. Of greening of crop, of growing green Abib. Do you see that? The father has been replaced with growing green Abib. The month, the Hadash, the moon of the Exodus and Passover. Look what they're going to say next. March or April. Question. Students and children. Can you find March and April on the moon? The answer is no. You can only find March and April on Pope Gregory's calendar. The same calendar created by the people who said absolutely nothing from these Negroes. So they fed you an alternative thought, and you took it because you did not test, try, and prove all things. Strong's definitions. Look at their transliteration now. How would you pronounce that? Abib, right? Then they said Abib. They actually put a Y here. Between the Y and the B, what would you put there? An A. Take away the I. Abba. Yab. The truth is present, right alongside the lie. From an unused root meaning to be tender, there was no root word etymology, so you can dismiss their definition. Green, i.e. a young ear of grain, hence the name of the month of Abib or Nisan. You see that? They replaced the father and his action to the children of Yasharal with young ear of grain and said, therefore, Abib or Abyab or Abayab or Nisan means ear, green ears of corn, not maize. They ran a game on us. They made fools out of us. But the dry bones live now. We've come back to life. Now, you've just looked at their Strong's definitions. Now they're going to give you the scripture, and they know something. You can't read. You have no understanding of the text, and the book testifies of it. You can give this to the learned man. He cannot understand. You can give it to the unlearned man. He cannot understand. Why? Because of this stupid translation. Let's begin. Exodus chapter 9, verse 31. Anytime they give you a scripture, you have to go through each one line by line, precept by precept, here a little, there a little. And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the ear, meaning it was young and tender, and the flax was boiled. Whose harvest? Was it the children of Yasharal? No. It was the Egyptians. How does this apply to our harvest and finding the first month? It doesn't. Who does this apply to? The Jews. In 2019, they saw the perfect alignment in the sky. The moon had moved away 10 days from the sun, meaning the path of years was revealed. They saw it. And they said, the barley harvest is not ripe, so we have to add a 13th month. Do you see that anywhere here? They are liars. Every 2 to 3 years, they have to add a 13th month to make sure that their feast is in April. But they cover it up by saying that the barley harvest wasn't ripe. They've made fools out of every last one of you. So you can dismiss this one altogether. Exodus 13:4. This day came you, the children of Yasharal, out in the month, in the Hadash of Abib, according to them, the month of green ears and corn, the month that the barley was in ear. They've totally erased the action of the Father. Exodus 23:15. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. We're on the feast now. Are you? If you're not, and he shows up in the sky, you shall be cut off from the congregation. You shall eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded you, in the time appointed of the, hold it, the has H24 after it. What does H24 mean? Green ears and grain, they said. So the means green ears and grain. So in the green ears and grain, Hadash of Abib. How silly is that? They know you have no reading comprehension. They know you do not understand their corbinats, their lies, how they twist the scripture to your destruction. They're already going to be destroyed. They want you to go down with them. The word month is Hadash. It's a moon phase. Can you find March or April on the moon? In the month that the Father stretched forth his arm to the house, for in it you came out of the land of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. Do you see that? If you add the right word, everything will line up. Exodus 34:18. The feast of unleavened bread shall you keep. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you. Who's commanding? Abba. What's his name? Yahuwah. In the time of the, look, they got H24 again. The means Abib. The means corn. The means barley. Of course not. In the Hadash, that the Father stretched forth his arm to the house, for in the Hadash, that the Father stretched forth his arm to the house, you came forth out of the land of Egypt. They didn't come out of the land of Egypt. So they have to do something. You see, when you steal a book, now you have to twist everything around so that it can apply to you. Abib applies only to the white man, to the Jews. Abib applies only to the Hebrews, the children of Yasharal. It speaks of the action when the Father stretched forth his arm to the house. Let's look at the next two. Leviticus 2:14. And if you offer a meat offering of your first fruits unto the Lord, if they took the name that is above all names out of the text, what makes you think they wouldn't delete his action? It doesn't apply to them. Remember that. It only applies to one people on the whole earth. Us. And if you offer a meat offering of your first fruits unto Yahuwah, you shall offer for the meat offering of your first fruits green ears of corn. Look, they got H24 there. The word for corn is carmal, dried by the fire. Indeed, corn beaten out of full ears. Hold it. They're not speaking of Abayab or Abib, the first month. What are they speaking of? The Feast of Weeks. Pentecost. This does not apply to how you find the first month. This is the third month, the third lunar month, which cannot be found on Pope Gregory's calendar. So let's dismiss with this one also. Deuteronomy 16:1. Now this one applies. I'm going to read it according to the ancient text, yet translated into English. Observe the Hadash of the Father stretching forth his arm to the house. Today he has been restored. And keep the Passah unto Yahuwah, your Alayak. He's only speaking to the children of Yasharal. For in the Hadash that the Father stretched forth his arm to the house, Yahuwah, your Alayak, brought you forth out of the land of Egypt by night. Does everything line up, what I said? I've restored the Father and his action. Will you do the same? Or will you keep following the feast of the Gentile? And all the children of Yasharal will forget and will not find the path of years. Simple reason why. Following the feast of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance, they ignored the text altogether, went on a rant, and fed you a word that doesn't exist, Abib, and you accept what they say and dismiss what the prophet that he sent says. Join with me, and in that day, when we get into the wilderness, you will not be ashamed. Now here's a meme, an illustration created by one of our sisters. This is absolutely dynamite. It explains the whole thing. Look what she says about the rebels if they were in the wilderness. I can't for the life of me find the barley harvest. How are we going to know when the beginning of months is? Who taught you that lie? The Jews, using the rules of postponement. In the wilderness, did they have a barley harvest, a corn harvest, or any harvest? No. How did he feed them? With manna. the bread from heaven. You mean to tell me that you have a problem with your Hadash being in December where it falls on that wicked Pope Gregory's calendar? And you believe that he cannot open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing where there will not be room enough to receive it when he fed the children of Yasharal bread from heaven for 40 years? What did the rebels do? They complained. They said, my soul hates this bread. We want KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. So he gave them pheasants. They ate so much that they said it came out of their nose. They were throwing up. They were sick from it. So for 40 years, they were in the wilderness. They had no harvest. How did they determine the first month? It's a very simple procedure. Look at the watchers on the right-hand side. They looked up. They saw the moon. They said, Hadash, there she is. I see her. The moon has become visible in the western sky. This is the beginning of months. Month number 1. 12 months, you come to the first month. 12 months, you come to the first month. If you do that 8 times, your Hadash will fall in December. Ours fell in December 21st when we observed Hadash, a moon phase, the lunar month, the beginning of months, in which the Hebrews followed. So he fed them bread from heaven in the wilderness for 40 years. But yet you don't believe that he can open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing where there'll not be room enough to receive it. Any time of the year, you have been deceived. Only one people on earth has been set apart to be different from all the rest. He'll give us a harvest year-round, while everyone else has to wait for their harvest in the spring, summer, and fall. We are set apart people. You are not set apart if you have to go to April on Pope Gregory's calendar, the same place where all the people who do not have a promise, you'll see them all gathering there. Shalom.